Hello everybody and welcome back to the vlog. Thank you so much for joining today. This is my 16-week pregnancy update.
Well, the moment you felt you could start over new was the same that you realized the stories were true. You opened your eyes and the world you could see wasn't dim, it was brighter. You'd have to agree. Your fears are gone, they were buried with the dawn. And oh, now you feel alive for the very first time. Oh, now your fears are gone, they were buried with the dawn. And oh, now you feel alive for the first time. Not hold me yet, not hold me yet. No, you're not home yet. No, not home. But you finally found the way.
It's Tuesday instead of Sunday. I almost always film these a day late, but it's 2 days late this time just because I took the weekend off and I made it a long weekend, so sorry. But here I am. And we had a video Friday which went up and I was so excited. I'm just so excited that things are finally getting back to normal. But speaking of, let's talk about baby stuff. So in the past week, I've talked about my nausea. The nausea has continued to be not great. I still have UTI-like symptoms and a little bit of swelling. So I'm going to ask my midwife about it next week when I go to see her. I'm also getting my blood taken at my appointment next week. So I need to make sure I've eaten tons of food, I'm fully hydrated and really taking care of myself because I don't need what happened last time to happen this time. This week, the baby is the size of a white onion, and I'm very excited. 16 weeks feels like a big milestone for some reason, even though I feel like it's not. It's not really. It doesn't mean anything gestationally. It's not the halfway point. You don't get your diabetes test. There's nothing specific. It's not viability. It just feels like a big deal, so it kind of made me excited a little bit. But anyway, so I have been a lot more tired, and in terms of I get exhausted more easily, I can do less things. So I've been trying to reserve my energy on days that I'm working or dancing and trying to nap during those days and not just rest, but actually nap. And yesterday, Gabriel napped for 2 hours in the afternoon. So Gregory and I also took a nap in the afternoon because we had this break between plans, and I was sounds like a good idea. And it was. It felt really good, and then by the end of the night we weren't fully exhausted, but we were ready to go to bed and didn't really affect our sleep schedule at all, so it was pretty nice. It's been pretty cloudy and muggy out today, so I haven't gone on a walk yet, but I'm hoping after nap time and game time and all, we'll be going out and doing some of that kind of stuff. I did go to the chiropractor on Friday. I'm going again on Wednesday because my back was all kinds of messed up, and he was like, "Are you getting headaches?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am for the last week and a half." And he's like, "Yeah, you need some work done, so we're going to do a couple sessions close together, and then we can start scheduling every 3 weeks instead of every 4 weeks, which is what I was doing in the past." Pretty pleased that all worked out, and it's going to be crazy on Wednesday, but it's important to go in because my headaches went away, my back pain got better, my hip pain got better, my feet feel better in general. I just feel better. So I know that it's helping me and I can physically feel the difference. So I am going to keep up with it. I have some pretty distinct more gas, but not gas. That's not what I'm trying to say. Indigestion. What is that called? Acid reflux. The heartburny, burpy kind of feeling a little bit more. And I don't know if it's more food based because it's not every day, but it is frequently. I know for sure that if I drink anything carbonated, then that definitely affects it. Like normally it does, but it makes it like way worse than like normal. But other than that, I haven't like drawn any specific correlations. So I'm just kind of like rolling, trying to figure that out and not let it get as bad as last time, because it was really bad last time in terms of like it was constant. It didn't feel painful and horrible all the time, but it was just constant. I don't really have a whole lot of updates for this week. Everything has stayed pretty much the same. Besides the update with my appointments and everything like that. Still working, still moving. Today I felt a lot better after having, even though I was really anxious and like not excited for it, putting it off, I don't know what you want to call it, but this morning I was like, I'm gonna do the things, and I got the things done, and that felt really good, and like my brain feels clear enough to like do all the things. I don't feel like I'm in a mind fog anymore, which is really nice. And Gabriel has been doing really well on his like schedule and stuff. He's a little bit needy now and then, but like what kid isn't, you know? So it's nothing that is an issue, which him being consistent, or at least me knowing like his cues better, or being able to like know that he'll get a nap for the most part and that kind of stuff, it's been really helpful. It's been able to help me focus on when to get stuff done and when to let stuff go and all of that kind of thing. So I'm going to stop at McDonald's and get, I can't decide if I want to stop at McDonald's and get a smoothie and a chicken sandwich, or if I want to stop at Caribou and get maybe a hot chocolate or frozen hot chocolate. Nah, maybe a hot chocolate. Something from Caribou and a sandwich from there. I don't know. Difficult to decide. But then I am going to go to Fleet Farm too, because I need to get some stuff. So, should be fun. Anyway, but today when I was being productive and doing things, I started thinking about the baby moons that we want to plan and everything like that. And I was like going through my calendar, because like I'm at this point where like with the things that I want to do, the weddings that I already have planned and other events and stuff that I have going on, I need to have like predetermined plans in place in advance. Like last minute things can always like come up last minute and be fun and fine and dandy, but just in general, if I want to plan stuff in advance, I really need to like plan it in advance, like way in advance. I have like 4 dates for the baby moon, like 2 dates in October, like 2 weekends in October, 1 in November, and 1 in September. So I'm going to see which one Gregory wants. And then we are going to do a weekend where like the 2 of us go away. So at least 2 weekends, if not 3. And I only have 4 date options because I want to be done by like I don't want to go any later than like a week or 2 into November, because right before Thanksgiving, we have successful in putting on this musical that I want to put on. The show will close right before Thanksgiving, like the weekend before Thanksgiving. So we'll be done with everything then, and I'll be 36 weeks, so I don't really want to go anywhere. I do have a wedding for just a friend. Not that she's any less than a client, but like it's a friend wedding on the 3rd of December. And that is like my last obligation. And I'm planning nothing for December and nothing for November outside of this play, obviously Thanksgiving, and then maybe potentially a baby moon. Thinking about that and getting everything like that taken care of kind of stems from a conversation that we had this weekend about holidays. And with the holidays being like such a busy season and us wanting to have like a party to meet the baby after they're born and that kind of thing, and not knowing how to plan that with Christmas and whatever, we came up with a couple of boundaries. And I never like, some people like are really good at like very easily coming up with, well, this is what I want to do. But I don't, because I really enjoy celebrating holidays, so I don't want to like miss them per se. But I also want to put myself first and take care of myself and my baby. What Gregory and I kind of decided was a couple of things. First of all, if people want us to do some sort of like Christmas plan or New Year's plan, if they have anything in specific. A general idea of that plan has to be set before Thanksgiving. So by the time I'm 36 weeks, because after I turn 36 weeks, I'm not taking on anything new. So if I don't already know where it is, what the general idea for the day is, like we're doing a family meeting at this house and it's going to be in this location, a general time frame. So like we're doing lunch or we're doing dinner or we're doing whatever, then we're not doing it. If we don't have the general time frame, plan, like date, location, we're not going to do it. Just because most of our family, except for like my parents, live at least 30 minutes away. Like that would host an event. We are hoping to host a family event for Gregory's side of the family for Thanksgiving. Because of that, that'll be really nice because basically all we have to tell them is like, hey, if something happens, like you guys can hang out, we're leaving, kind of thing. As far as like holidays go, in terms of Christmas, we need the plan by the time I'm 36 weeks, otherwise we can't go. We just can't commit because things are too crazy, and 30 minutes plus the 45 minutes to the birth center, and this being my second birth, I'm hoping to be healthier to make the birth go smoother, which may consequently make it also go faster. It might not, but I don't want to risk having a baby in the car. That's the one, like I'm fine having a baby at home. I'm fine having a baby, I want to have my baby at the birth center. But I don't want to have my baby in the car. I really don't. I'm hoping by my 20-week appointment, like by the time that ultrasound's done and everything, that we will have figured out if we're for sure doing the birth center or for sure doing a home birth, because I kind of told you guys that general like issue that I had. Like essentially we have to figure out like the whole payment situation, and we might be doing a home birth because it's cheaper than the birth center. But I'm hoping we can figure that out around 20 weeks. So an update will come for that around 20 weeks. But either way, by the time that, November rolls around, people will know what our birth plan is in terms of if we're having it at home or if we're not, and what that looks like, because that will adjust like our drive time and what we need. So the other thing that people have to be okay with is not only do we have to know in advance, like they don't have to be plans set in stone, because that's like over a month out, and I understand that things can change for people. And I get that. But with Minnesota weather in the winter and a baby, I'm not playing that game. And I'm not playing he can speed home, because you can't. You can't know what those road conditions are going to be like. And you don't know if there's going to be black ice. So it's just not safe. And I'd rather play it safe than potentially cause injury or in the car birth. Which is not the end of the world, but it's not a world I want to live in if I don't have to. Anyway, so the other thing that people have to be okay with is if I start feeling contractions, like if I have a consistent hour's worth of contractions, or if my contractions don't, like I haven't had them for an hour, but they've been getting consistently stronger, we're leaving immediately. No, like, we'll wait it out for a little bit. We're going. And if it ends up being nothing, like they can't hold it against me, because I just genuinely do not want to give birth in the car by accident. I want to go home, unless we're at my parents' house. And, depending upon how far people are or how far the event is from where the birth center is, will depend on when we leave. And, like, people just have to understand that. So, like, if we're 2 hours away from the birth center for the holiday, then as soon as I feel those contractions, we're leaving. If it's, like, our house area / where my parents live, I'll probably hang out for a couple of hours, but I genuinely just don't want to labor at somebody else's house. And again, if it ends up being nothing, like, it's better that we went home than stayed there, just because. And I'm not going to want to leave either, and I'm going to have a lot of guilt around leaving, but people have to accept it and know that they can't say anything, because it will make me feel bad, even though, like, it is literally not my fault and I'm doing it for my health and my baby's health and all of that good stuff. So those are like a couple of the boundaries. And also, what should happen, I can't even say that. What's more likely that will happen is we'll have a baby prior to Christmas. In which case, if our baby's not a week old yet, we're not going. We're not hosting anything. We're not doing anything for Christmas. Everyone can meet the baby and see us for Christmas at our get-together that we'll have after the baby is born. After the holidays, that'll be it. If our baby's not a week old. Because I'm not going anywhere until I'm a week through to my recovery. It's technically not recovered enough to travel that much. But again, I really love celebrating the holidays. So a week, as long as I'm feeling okay and I don't have instructions from my midwife otherwise, then we'll go. But if it hasn't been a week, I'm not doing it. I'm not going. So if people want to drop stuff off, they can. And otherwise, like, no, that's my boundary. As far as Thanksgiving goes, because that's right after I turn 36 weeks, I don't have a ton of restrictions for that. And there's only like one, I'm hopefully hosting one Thanksgiving at my house, and the other Thanksgiving is, I'm hoping, only going to be 30 minutes away instead of an hour and 10 minutes away. Because that just makes more sense in my opinion. But like, I'm not the one making that decision, so we'll see. But since it's just those two events and they're pretty like, whatever, it's basically just being like, oh yeah, we're totally like good to come, like, or good to host, but just, you know, be aware, like, if it's a home birth and we're hosting, like, if I start feeling like I'm going into labor, I gotta kick you all out so I can clean up, so I can set up my birth tub. And if it's at the birth center, like, again, you guys can hang out, here's how to lock up, etc. And if it, you know, we're 30 minutes away, again, that whole, as soon as I feel contractions and I know I need to leave, I'm going to leave kind of thing. So, yeah. Although I've never gone into labor naturally, so I'm really hoping it doesn't happen at an event, so that I can kind of like do what I need to do. But we'll see. And then the other thing is we are going to host our New Year's Eve, New Year's Day party. Still, that's the plan. But we'll see how that goes. That is the long-winded baby update. If you are having a baby in December, please tell me, what are your boundaries, guidelines, whatever, for seeing baby around the holidays? What are you doing for the holidays? If you're just having a baby this year in general, what are you doing for boundaries for family, for friends? When are you having visitors? I would love to hear what you guys are doing and what you have set up or thought about as far as your journey goes. Or if you have questions, please comment down below so we can chat. Otherwise, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell down below so you can get notifications for when more videos come out. We'll see you next time. Love, Genevieve.